Hey, this week I actually want to talk to you about a new to me term, but has existed since the 60s, called a holon, Holon. Arthur Koestler wrote in his book, The Ghost in the Machine, about this concept, this philosophical concept of being both self-contained and also as whole, self-contained and whole, and also part of a system or part of something greater. For example, you are within yourself a self-contained whole. You are a whole person, an individual with thoughts and rational speech and everything in between. You are also part of a family. And that family is also part of a generation, and that generation is also part of an industry, and more and more and more. Each of those parts are a whole in and of themselves, your family structure being a whole, and then greater and greater. And each in this holonic philosophy, each whole and part, it is separating from this dichotomy of both self-assurance and this integral need for collaboration and integration. And why is this important to you? Ultimately, it really comes down to agency. Your recognition of both your self-assurance, your willingness to be whole and express yourself as a whole person with independent thoughts, needs, emotions, and more. But it is also a part. You are also a part of a larger structure. The agency, responsibility, and accountability are on you to understand how as a whole you want to show up and how in a part you will be represented. And you have the responsibility to speak up for yourself, both as a whole and in this larger part. We talk about growth in a couple different ways. One being kind of like a seed that's planted, and then you till the soil and you water the spot where the seed is planted, and what you don't see is the roots growing down and out until one day just a sprout, a germinated seed sprouts, and you see the fruits of that patience and love and care. Or we could think of it as a child learning to ride a bike for the first time. There is practice and falls and training wheels until one day balance of pedals and handlebars just click. And the child goes careening down the street. And it doesn't just click that day, it's all of the practice and the fall. So as you work to see your whole and feel your whole and your part and take responsibility in which both of those are showing up, know that growth isn't always visible. But you are still tilling the soil. You are still balancing on the bike. And then some days you will just wake up and feel whole or recognize how you play a part in different system. Things to think about this week. Can't wait to see you tonight on the call.